What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to sell on StockX. It is very easy, so this video is going to be really short, but let's dive right into it. So here's a quick example, and you can use any shoe as an example, okay? But this is just a quick one. So this is a shoe that I found on the back end a few days ago, and I bought some of them, and this is exactly how I would look it up. So basically, on each shoe and almost on every single listing on the internet, you're going to find this style code, also known as a SKU, S-K-U, okay? And usually it's as you can see, like a 9-digit code. And this is what it'll look like for Nike. Each Air Force, each shoe is going to have a different SKU. Got it? So if I go to this shoe, different colorway, it's going to have a different SKU, right? Every shoe has a different identifier. That's the way you could look at it, okay? This SKU is very important because that's what you're going to use to look up any shoe on any platform, period. You take up this SKU, you look it up on eBay, you look it up on Go, you look it up on StockX even, it'll pull up that shoe and it'll give you the information about it. Got it? So that's the SKU. I typed it in, pulls it up here. StockX also gives you some other information, release date, retail price, so that's useful as well. Anyways, going back up here, you can choose what size you want to look for. Each size is going to be at a different price because that's just the way StockX works. That's the way marketplaces work. Each size is going to be at a different price, as you guys can see. This is what these ones are at right now. I got 9.5. 9.5 is going for 118. That's what it's selling at. In order to sell it, I'm not going to show it to you because then it'll show my info, but you would click this right here. And again, you'd be doing this from your phone as well. Okay, it's super easy from your phone. It's the same process. You would click the sell, and you're not actually selling it for $40. You're able to place a ask. And when you place an ask, what that means is you're basically placing what you're okay with selling the shoe at. StockX works a little bit differently than Go, eBay, and all these other platforms. You have to be the cheapest price on StockX in order for your shoe to sell first. Got it? So if I go to view sales here, you guys can see what the actual sales are on this shoe. It sells about twice a month, sometimes a little bit more than that. So this is a fast moving shoe in my opinion. You can also see the view bids. So bids is what someone's bidding here. That means 40 bucks. Asks, this is what you want to be looking for because this is what other people are selling this shoe for. So you can see there's two people or two of them listed at 118. If you list your shoe at 118, StockX, the way it works is since those two people are in front of you, their shoes are going to sell. They have to sell before yours does, right? Which kind of sucks. So this encourages undercutting on StockX. So if you want to be listed as the first person on this listing, you'd have to come in list $1 below that. And that's called undercutting. It can lower the market a lot and you'll see that happen. And I'll talk about it. And that's this kind of stuff we talk about on my coaching calls about diving in more depth about this stuff. But basically what you would do is list your shoe at 117. That way you're the lowest. So you're the first one that can sell. Again, what happens when you do that? Chances are these guys aren't going to like that and they're going to go list at 116. And then 115, and then 114, and then everyone just ends up losing out on money, okay? GOAT is not like that, and I have videos on it as well explaining that as well, but that's the way StockX works. So that's kind of the downside of it. But it's that easy. You make an account, you give them your email, sign up, and then you're pretty much able to go and list shoes on StockX. Once you sell a shoe on StockX, you have 2 to 3 days to ship it. They'll tell you when the due date is to ship it. And basically what will happen is you'll get a label in your email or in the StockX app as well. You'll print it out. You'll slap it on the box and then you'll go ship it out. There's plenty of videos on the internet about how to box up shoes. So I'm not going to make any guides about that because I'm pretty sure most of you guys know how to ship something, okay? But if you guys are having trouble with that, look that up on YouTube. StockX's fees also work a little bit differently too. So you can actually improve your fees. X seller levels. Let me pull this up so I can show you guys. Here are their seller levels. This is how their fees work. So when you make a brand new account, your fees are 9%. Keep in mind, that's plus a transaction fee. So transaction fees on StockX is going to be 2.9%, I believe. That's what most platforms are. So additional 2.9% is what you'd end up paying on that. Cool. If you get even a few sales, you get 12 sales, you lower it by 0.5. You get 40 sales, which should be possible for you guys because this is per quarter. So that's 40 sales in 90 days. You lower it to 8%. This one's not very reasonable. Probably most of you guys aren't going to hit that, okay? And that's fine. This is the one you probably want to be shooting for. If you can get to 25,000 in sales every quarter, which is 100,000 a year, you can get it down to 7.5%. That's great. That's the one I'd be shooting for if I were you guys. You guys can eventually get to this one, but 800, that's almost 10 pairs a day that you'd have to be selling. It's pretty difficult, all right? So this one's a lot more manageable. And on top of that, you can lower your fees even more. So if you ship at least 95% of your sales on time, meaning you don't ship stuff late, you get another 1% off. And on top of that, right here, if you do it within 36 hours of each sale, so you ship it quick, 80% of your stuff, you get another 1% off. So you can get another 2% off. So technically, you can get your fees down to 5.5%, which is pretty sweet. That's why stuff sells lower on StockX and other platforms, because technically, if you're a really top seller, you have less fees than other people, which is great. That's a good thing to know about. And then finally, last thing I want to say about this as well, there's the cash out fee as well. So you still have that 2.9, just call it 3%. So technically, if you're at this right here with 7.5, technically you're still paying, 10.5% fees. Now, if you get it down those other 2%, then you're only paying 8.5, right? So it's better, right? And that's kind of the benefit of StockX. Versus on Goat, you make a new account, everyone's just at the same level. StockX, you can lower that stuff, which is useful and valuable in my opinion. There's also shipping fees on StockX. I believe it's $4 now. So each item you sell, they take $4, and then they also will take this fee, and then on top of that, they'll take that cash out fee. All right, so just keep that in mind. But that's the basics of selling StockX. It's really easy. eBay gets a little bit more in depth. I'm going to cover that for you guys in just a second. So yeah, other than that, have a good one, guys.